every day states are starting to prove my point more and more. And that's pretty much that 4 years of nursing school is absolutely unnecessary. Let's get into it.
But you can live pretty well by yourself.
Well, boys and girls, the cat is out of the bag. Now, this story comes from Fox News. I know that's some of you all's favorite website. And it says, to combat nursing shortage, universities create accelerated 12-month training programs, a win-win. Now, I've discussed this before, pretty much when I was talking about the LPNs not being able to do it, simply because they don't have prereqs, and it's not a prior bachelor's degree, yada yada yada, a bunch of BS. But more and more states are starting to come aboard, which ultimately goes to show that 4 years of nursing school is unnecessary. I'm not going to say it's dumb, but unnecessary. So it says a shortage of over 78,000 registered nurses are projected for next year. It says America needs nurses, and some schools are implementing accelerated programs to train them. To shorten the process, these programs cut training time from up to 4 years down to 1. Let me read that to you again. To shorten the process, these programs cut training time from up to 4 years down to 1, ladies and gentlemen. Quote, I really do think it's a win-win for students in local hospitals and facilities, said Elizabeth Mann, assistant clinical professor at the University of New England, in an interview with Fox News. She's based in Maine. Prospective students must have a previous bachelor's degree and need to complete 8 prerequisite courses. See, this is what I don't understand. How is somebody with a bachelor degree but no prior healthcare experience more qualified than somebody who is already a nurse, such as an LPN? I don't get it. To me, and then people say, well, it's about the prereqs. It's about the prereqs and all that. What about being an actual nurse with an actual license? Now, to me, this is where I don't trip. I've never tripped about being an LPN, but this is where I understand some people's frustration and why they feel the way they feel sometimes, because it's stuff like this to be like, well, what the heck? I'm already a licensed nurse. Why wouldn't you make the transition for me to get my RN easier for me, since I'm already in the field, I'm already in healthcare, versus a person who's never had healthcare experience? And you're about to see what I'm talking about. It says this is dramatically shorter than the typical 2 to 4 year nursing program. Quote, I think the ability to get a second degree in something like a bachelor's in nursing is very appealing to many people. We'll see about that. UNE Nursing School's interim director, Donna High, told Fox News, they don't have to have a healthcare background. We will get them there. What? I'm going to read that to you one more time. They don't have to have a healthcare background. We will get them there. So all that other stuff, y'all just proving that it's fluff. It's not necessary, nor is not needed. But they're saying, well, you have to have a bachelor's degree and 8 prereqs. What about the people that are already nurses, like the LPNs? Now, see, this is the crazy. Now, this is the irritating part to me. But I'm gonna continue. The new fast track program at the University of New England is slated to begin in May. The goal is to help students get into the workforce sooner, but they'll have to put in some serious training as well, experts say. There's nothing cut back. They do the same amount of clinical hours, so we allow time for that. So what's all the other stuff for? Prereqs? All right. Their schedule may have to be a little more flexible to include considerations of weekends. There's a projected shortage of over 78,000 registered nurses next year, according to the National Center of Healthcare Workforce Analysis. It says the states most in need of nurses are Washington, Oregon, California, Michigan, and Georgia. Michigan has these same programs. As different states are looking at their own options to increase their nursing workforce, this is one of those options. Jennifer Minsick Kennedy, the Oregon-based patient of American Nurses Association, told Fox News. The shortened 12-month program not only appeals to students but will also benefit local healthcare facilities, Mann said. Hyde noted that she speaks to many of the nurse administrators at local healthcare partners, and they obviously see the need for more nurses sooner rather than later. Duh. It says some have expressed doubts that students can be ready in just a year. That's cap. Like if they express doubts about that, like how do they really feel about licensed practical nurses though? Like for real talk. Like how do they really feel about LPNs? Because at this point, again, I'm of the thought that as long as the check clear. But when you read stuff like this, it makes me go, well, maybe y'all don't think we real nurses. Maybe y'all don't believe that. Maybe the states and even down to the board, they don't believe we real nurses because statements like this don't even make sense. You dig? Say some have expressed doubt that the students can be ready in just a year. Well, most LPN programs are a year. They may have to interpret it as offering a lesser quality of training or that we are pushing students through. And I do want to emphasize that is truly not the case, she said. Up to 40 students are expected to start the program in May at the University of New England. So they figure it is better. This is how they're thinking. They feel it is better to train people with no prior healthcare experience, but they have a bachelor's degree, versus somebody who's already been in the field, somebody who's already dealt with patients, somebody who's already dealt with death, somebody that's already dealt with dying and everything that comes along with dealing with patients. This is what they're telling us. Since once students have completed the program, they will have to pass the NCLEX, just like a traditional 4-year student, to officially become a nurse. So my question is, what do they feel LPNs are? What do they feel we are? You know what I'm saying? But this is why you have to have a mindset. As an LPN, I really do, because to me, inside of a big healthcare spectrum, we are still one of the most unique niche nurses in the game, because I do understand why a lot of nurses don't feel respected, a lot of LPNs, because why wouldn't you just try to make it easier for the transition? Most LPNs got to take prereqs in their LPN program anyway, so I just don't understand it, especially with these universities. Now some of these private you have some of these private institutions to where you can go, once you become an LPN, you can go get your ADN in a year. You have some colleges too that do that. You can get your ADN in a year. But these people getting their BS in. And it's all about prereqs. That's what they're going to tell you. So I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy. But hey, I'm open to being wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk about it. Link to the article will be in the description, and we'll go from there. I'll let y'all in a minute. Peace.